Welcome to Into the Mind of a Madman. You are now rocking with me, the Madman. And today I wanted to speak on behalf of the Carmelo Anthony case, the case out in Texas where the young black man ended up stabbing the the young white man uh in the chest and he ended up dying. There was a fight and all of the things. And I'm not necessarily here to speak about that case because it's spoken about a lot, and it's already kind of like a race war going on, far as how he's being treated, how Carmelo Anthony's being treated, how the young white man who got killed, along with the relationship to it being in a fight with his brother and how things went about. I'm not here to speak on that because the internet is already flooded with whatever, all of the conversations. My conversation comes in far as the education of using deadly force. Now, my qualifications to speaking on this is I once was employed as an armed guard. I was armed with a firearm, and being armed with a firearm, it comes with rules and regulations, or in training to a degree, not to a degree, and training to when is the proper time to use deadly force. And I want to speak to this because in this particular case with Carmelo Anthony, I honestly see mistakes, and I honestly feel like he has a high chance of this not being this not going in his favor. Just just from my training, my experience in when deadly force should be used. And it really boils down to imminent danger, right? That means danger being upon you at the moment. It it boils down to, will a reasonable person see this as an imminent danger, and not even it's just if it's necessary. It's the fact that you have to, this reasonable person has to understand why you thought the threat was imminent, right? And one of the first things we all know, even if you haven't been through training, if you've been alive long enough to see uh police police involved incidents involving the police killing a person, you're going to understand when a statement is made by said police officer, it's always, I feared for my life. It's it's never an accident. It's never by mistake. And this is where I wanted to educate the people when using deadly force, because when I read and I heard about the Carmelo Anthony story, his initial reaction triggered a thought in me where that's not how you handle that. So I have to educate my people, especially like I said, being a young black man, being a him Carmelo Anthony being a young black man, and anybody else black, that you know how I feel about this skin tone. So I gotta I want to educate anybody who potentially may use deadly force. For one, like I spoke about, it must be imminent. The imminent doesn't mean somebody says something to you and they're walking back to the car like, oh, word, I'm gonna go get my gun. They walk back and then they turn around and walk away from you, and you like, oh, let me shoot them because, or let me stab them, or let me use this deadly force because they're on the way to get a weapon. No, that means for you to walk the other way and get up out of there. That's not imminent. Imminent is at you right now to cause, trying to cause great bodily harm or even death. So it has to be right now, whether you're protecting you or protecting who's along with you. It has to be happening right now. And they have to, they added this in as they have to have the opportunity to do it, right? It in a sense, uh, you can't say the man in the wheelchair who, like, we know he can't walk, he has no leg strength, right? This man in the wheelchair has a knife in his hand, and you're 10 feet away. He's in a wheelchair with a knife. He's rolling towards me. I can shoot him. You see what I'm saying? Like, the people, a reasonable person is not going to say you're in imminent danger. This guy's in a wheelchair and it's so much distance. You have time to leave. You see what I'm saying? So they have, it has to be imminent, along with they have to have a reasonable way of completing their objective. Even if the moment is, they they are acting upon it. You know what I'm saying? So that's like imminent far as facing the danger, right? It has to be in the now. Now, let me pause it right there because I know a lot of people feel like, I know the conversation goes, what if you're in your house and somebody's breaking in? Is it imminent danger far as shooting through the door? Like the person is is not in the house. They're trying to come in the house, right? At that point, from my training and what I know, you can shoot through the door. And of course, it's according to your state. Please know your state laws and all of that. But you can shoot through the door because at that point, you only know is people coming through the door. And you're in here, you're protecting your family. If anything, please don't try to protect property. Even though it's your house and you have, and you know, in some states, especially here in North Carolina, you got eminent domain and all of that type of thing. You got like the castle doctrine and in those things, and even North Carolina and maybe other states. But I, like I said, I'm in North Carolina, so I know North Carolina law, and the castle doctrine goes from the house, and they extended it to your car. So even if you're in your car, you can protect pretty much your car and your family in your car, whatever, whatever. You don't necessarily have to run away from a carjacker, right? But I'm saying to avoid killing somebody, if you are in the house and you can get away, like say you you have the ultimate knowledge of it's one person trying to break into your front door and there's no family in the house, and you feel like, all right, they're gonna come take my TV or whatever, whatever, and you have a back door and you can run out the back door. Please do that. Like the psyche of a person, of killing a person, is it's not for everybody. So if you have a chance to escape, just escape. But if your family's in the house, like I said, back on point, You can shoot through the door because you do not know who's coming. You don't think, oh, a man in a wheelchair is coming through the door. Get what I'm saying? So anything coming in and you have your family inside, you and your family, you're protecting you or your family, you can eliminate that. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, like I said, if you have a reason to believe these people are coming in the door, right? And so that's all imminent to cause great. It's a right now they're coming to cause great bodily harm and even death. Right now, the second thing, the second thing you you have to really grasp about using deadly force is you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. This is where Carmelo Anthony uh may face his biggest hurdle. When you hear a cop say, I was in fear for my life, this is why I shot this man, killed this man, man or woman, I'm just using man as a general term. I was in imminent and I was in fear for my life. That's and I killed this person. You have to be intentional. Whether you are grabbing a knife, grabbing a gun, grabbing a bat, whatever you choose as your deadly weapon or your deadly force, I should say, because you could kill a person with your bare hands if you can. What I'm saying is it has to be intentional. When Carmelo, when from far as I know, when they approached Carmelo Anthony, they asked he was asking, oh, is he gonna be all right? Is he okay? Because he stabbed him, he didn't know. That's where I think his biggest hurdle. If he would have said, if he would have been on the scene crying, cops walk up to him, hey, I was in fear for my life. I had to do this. They was about to beat me up. They was hitting on me and all of these things or whatever, right? I had two people jumping me, him and his brother. I stabbed him in the chest. I did this on purpose. I was in fear for my life. He had That's what he should have said if he had to say something. Let me pause it right here. Please, in any case where you have to use deadly force, please do not speak to the police on the scene. If you are the suspect already, you already know what's involved, who's involved, if whatever. I'm talking about making any type of statements. The most you should say, if you have to say something, like say like it's only you and the person there type of thing, right? It's no witnesses or whatever. Obviously, you're the only one there. I mean, if you want to say I'm the person, let me get to my lawyer. I'm the like it's two people there, one person there, you not, you call the police, whatever, right? I'm the guy you looking for. I want to talk to my lawyer. If you have outside of that, right? If you want to say something and you have to say something because you just killed somebody, right? Now say you are not the only one there, and they're like Carmelo Anthony. There are other people there. You don't even have to say it was me because everybody's gonna pick you out. Everybody gonna know that's the suspect. That's the dude who did it. Whatever. Right? If you had for Carmelo Anthony, if they came to arrest him and he just said, I want my lawyer, cool. But if you have to say something, right? Because you just killed someone and you wanna have a conscience and let the police officers know what state of mind you are. Like, say you was going, like you're in the mindset of, I have to defend myself. I want them to know my mind state in this particular moment while it is happening, right? And you have to say something. The only thing, do not explain what happened. Do not explain all of the lead up, build up, all of the things, the aftermath, whatever. All you all you will say, and I'm pleading with you, the only thing to say, I was in fear for my life. That's it. Just like cops, I was in fear for my life. That's gonna allow the officers to take note. This is the state of mind this person is in. They're sitting here on the, whether you're crying or not crying, you standing there stone cold face, you standing there not talking and just, he was casual face or whatever. If you have to say something, just so the officers know what state of mind you are in at this moment, and you want to put it on record because you know it's going to come up. What were you thinking? Whatever, whatever. Please say, I was in fear for my life. I want to talk to my lawyer. I want a lawyer. I was in fear for my life. I want a lawyer. That's it. That's if you have to say something. Please don't speak on nothing else. So, yes, press play. Now we back. When Carmelo Anthony started asking, is he all right, and whatever, whatever, that can be seen as not being intentional. I didn't want to kill him. I didn't mean to kill him. Anytime you are using a weapon in any way, it can turn deadly. Whether you're grabbing a bat, aiming it for somebody's head, if you grab a knife, aiming it at a chest, if you grab a gun, aiming it at a chest, it can turn deadly. Please be intentional about your actions. Even if you're not intentional, please, when you speak, be intentional. No, I meant to do this because I was in fear for my life. We must start understanding not the law per se, because we don't want to kill somebody. I'm not trying to give the blueprint to kill somebody and how to get away with it. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is when we start getting into fights and we start escalating the situation, and I'm saying escalating as far as, all right, we could be hands all day and you could punch somebody and they could hit the ground and they could die or whatever, whatever. That you could say, like I said, you might say, oh, we were just fighting. He hit his head on the ground, concrete. Now he bleeding or whatever. Now he whatever, whatever. That's understandable. Like that could be like a manslaughter charge or whatever, whatever. I don't know. I'm not the law. But when you start taking it from the hands, I'ma grab a bottle, I'ma grab a bat, I'ma grab a knife, I'ma grab a gun. You have to understand you are elevating this this altercation right now. So it could turn deadly just by the choice and how you decided to escalate this situation at hand. So please be aware when you are reaching for a knife, if you are reaching for a gun, you are reaching for these weapons that can cause grave bodily harm or death. Please be intentional. Please be intentional and understand Where are you taking this to? And like I said, moving on, being intentional, understanding when you should use deadly force, understanding what you need to be saying if you had to say something to the cops. And like I implore anybody, please do not speak at all on your behalf. Don't, hey, like I said, I gave the scenarios. If it's just you and the person, like I said, obviously you're the only one there. Hey, I'm the one who called. This like the situation. You don't have to explain this. Hey, I'm the guy. I need to speak to my lawyer. I I'm the guy. I was in fear for my life. I need to speak to my lawyer. I'm shutting up after that. If there's a lot of people around, you don't have to say you're the person, because the person you there. Don't leave the scene. Like I said, all of this, don't leave the scene. Don't run away. Don't hide nowhere. Do what you do intentionally. Stand right there. Let the cops come. I'm I was in fear for my life. I want to speak to my lawyer. No words, no other words to any cops or detect. They are not on your side. For all parties, this is white, black, whatever. When you are using deadly force, when you choose to use deadly force, nobody's on your side. There's a dead person who can't talk, and it's you with the only story outside of the witnesses, right? You with the only story of understanding what went on, because everybody else is guessing. So you, like, Carmelo Anthony could have had prior words with these two young men. He could have, because high school, whatever. People say, why was he walking around with a knife? Or I heard some say it was cleat sharpener or what. I don't like what all of the things. I don't. That's why I don't want to get into the case and have that conversation, right? All I'm saying, I hate it. I hated to hear his first words. I hated to hear he was sitting there and asking, was he gonna be all right? Because I'm telling you, the black and the white, depending on how the jury, depending on the judge, depending on how the police kind of are, the first responders, the police on the scene taking statements. I hate that form. I really do. So I'm telling everybody. So this, like I said, with him being a young black man, with me being a black man, and I got a young daughter, and I got friends, and I got family, and I got everybody, and anybody who may come in contact with this video at some point in time. I really wanted to get this word out, because we have to know how to handle these situations if we are ever placed in them. So like I said, to just recap before I get out of here, there has to be an imminent danger of great bodily harm. First thing, if you can get away, please get away. If if it's simply for the psyche, we are not killers. I don't care, even if you get off, even if you beat the case, even if you're not, if you never have to do a day in jail from the time they take your statement, if they never even arrest you, that will weigh on you having to kill a person. So if you can avoid escalating to that, please do that. That's why I'm saying, if it's not imminent, please try to find a way to walk away from this. But in the imminent, understand they have to have a reasonable way to actually carrying it out. It has to be right now, and you have you have to have the mindset. This is causing me great bodily harm or even death. Great bodily harm is you gonna be brain dead, half your face gonna get ripped off. It's not like, oh, they gonna hit me, they gonna punch me in my face and now I'm gonna have a black eye. You get what I'm saying? It's not a black eye. Oh, he punched me in my face, I don't want to have a knot on my head. I don't want a sore shoulder because he gonna hit me in the shoulder. You see what I'm saying? It's, oh, half my arm is about to be torn off. My legs about to come, like whatever he or she is attacking me with. Like I said, even if it's like it's not like I said, it don't have to be a knife. It don't have to be a gun. It could be a bat. It could be something worth, like you really can break somebody a metal pipe. You see what I'm saying? It can't be a wiffle ball bat. You get what I'm saying? It can't be, oh, they're coming at me with a newspaper. They're coming at me with a spoon. You get what I'm saying? We have to really, it, we have to really understand. And like I said, really understand where you are taking this to. You when you going through training, right? You have to, I'm talking about armed guards now, right? Back to armed guards. They teach you the law and they teach you this is when you can use deadly weapon because you putting a weapon on your hip. So you're training to use your weapon, right? And when to use it. I'm an armed guard. We're training, and when you anybody know this, gun training, you're not trained to shoot somebody in the hand. You're not trained to shoot a person in the foot. He could have shot him in the knee. I don't know if I did a show about this already, but I want to have a gun show. I'm gonna do a gun show, a gun blog or whatever, and it really get, because people really don't understand. Oh, he could have shot him in. Police and regular people and 99.99% of the people with guns aren't marksmen. They're not trained marksmen to where you can shoot a moving hand. Most of us, right, are shooting still targets, like still, like it's not moving, like a stabilized target. You go to the gun range and you put a target on a line, you send a line out, it's not moving, it's right there. You're trained and you're shooting center mass. Center mass, the biggest part of the body, right? You're not trained to shoot a person's hand. You can't shoot the knife out his hand. Oh, the person's running. Why you didn't shoot him in the leg? It's hard to hit a moving target for one, and you're trying to shoot at a small target. We're not trained marksmen. Me included, and a lot of the cops on the force, they're not trained marksmen or whatever. The best you're gonna get is center mass. They're shooting to stop the target, to stop the threat. Whatever the threat is, it needs to be stopped right now. How you stop a threat? Center mass. It's not aiming for the head. It's not aiming for somebody's hand. Not shooting them in the shoulder. This is not a movie. This is not expert marksman. Shooting is regular people with jobs. Police officers, these are jobs for them. Not half of them, I'm gonna say they careers, but you looking for a job, a career. You want to go home to your family is all I'm saying. At the end of the day, you want to go home to your family or yourself, your video games. You want to go out to eat. You go to the movies on Friday night, on Saturday night. This is not everything. Like, a police officer is as much as a job or career as the dude on fries at McDonald's, as me as an armed guard for whatever armed guard company I work for, as a dude working at Amazon delivering packages, at FedEx driving trucks, at whatever. See what I'm saying? These are jobs and careers, and they trying to get home to their families and enjoy their day off and enjoy their vacations once, twice a year, 3 times a year, whatever. Go see the concerts, go out to the movies. They trying to make it home. So they're not in the gun range all day, every day when they not working and trying to train to shoot and this and that. It ain't all about that. It's about stopping the threat, and stopping the threat, shooting center mass, and you're putting your threat down. You're being intentional about the force you're using. And as an armed guard, understand, I am only I am only trained, and I am only equipped with a firearm. A police officer, right, is equipped with hand to hand combat when they go through their training. They got batons, they got mace, they have why am I drawing a blank on the stun guns and all of that? The tasers, they have tasers, they got batons, they hand to hand combat, mace. They are trained in all of these particular areas. So we don't necessarily want police officers, right, as a civilian. We don't want it to escalate to deadly force. We want them to have the ability to say, assess the situation and say, okay, on this one I can use hand to hand. On this one I need a baton. This one I need mace. This one I need a taser. We But for me as an armed guard, I only have one way. We're not trained hand in hand. Now, if you want to fight a person because that's what you want to do, then I can do that. You see what I'm saying? But we only have one way. So it's not to even bring all that up. I'm just saying I am trained to use deadly force, so I do know about this. So that's why I really wanted to make this, and it's about those real crucial imminent danger, and the reason, and them having a reasonable way of doing it, right? You have to believe this is going down right now, and this is can be, I'm in fear for my life. It's my life, or whoever I'm protecting is on the line right now. Be intentional. And if you must speak, please, I was in fear for my life. Let me get to a lawyer. With that being said, I hope this was helpful. I pray for all parties involved. Thank you.